Hi, this is Hongzheng. This video is my summative assignment, the big picture. The questions I choose are the question number 3 and the question number 5. Today, I'm going to talk about the parasite in membranes. In order to understand parasitic relationship, we have to get to know a little bit about biotic interactions. The types of interactions between populations can be simply divided into 3 categories. First, neutral. Second, positive interactions. And the third, negative interactions. Neutral means there is no interaction between populations. In fact, there is a universal connection between living things and no interaction is relative. Positive interactions are divided into 3 categories: partial benefit symbiosis, primitive cooperation, and mutual benefit symbiosis, according to their degree of action. However, the main topic we are going to talk about is negative interactions. It includes competition, predation, and parasitism. So let's focus on the 3 categories of negative interactions. Competition. Competitive relationship refers to the phenomenon that two creatures of the same biological level compete for resources and space when living together. An example of this relationship could be wolves and hyenas. They compete with each other for land and food resources. The populations of two species in the competitive relationship are mutually restricted by each other. For example, when the number of wolves decreases, the biological resources needed by wolves will decrease. Then the use of these biological resources would be available for hyenas. Then it will cause the hyena population to increase. Predation means a creature feeds on another species. The former is prey and the latter is a predator. An example of a predation relationship could be sheep and grass. There is no competition or resources between them. For example, the land resources needed for grass are not at the biological level of sheep. But the population growth of the two species are interrelated. For example, grass is food for sheep and provides energy for sheep to grow and reproduce. For the grass population declines, sheep will not have enough energy to reproduce, which declines the birth rate, so the sheep population will also decline. If the number of sheep declines, the growth of grass will not be restricted, and its population as an autotrophic organism can continue to rise until it rises to the shortage of biological resources, because grass individuals also have a competitive relationship. Those grasses that lack resources will increase the mortality rate of the population, thus decrease the grass population. The parasitic relationship means that a small organism lives in the body of another larger organism, grows and reproduces in it, and brings strong or weak harmful effects to the latter. Two creatures live together, one of the benefits, another suffer. The victim provides nutrients and place to live to the beneficiary. This relationship is called a parasitic relationship. The beneficiary is called a parasite, and the victim is called a host. The increase in population of parasites will draw a lot of energy from the host, resulting in an increase in disease rate, so that host population declines. The population of the host decreases, leads the biological resources for the parasites to decrease, resulting in a decrease in the birth rate of the parasites and a decrease in the population. So let's back to the topic. We have mentioned the parasite in the membrane. Unfortunately, humans are one of the host family, and viruses are commonly parasites. Viruses break the membrane of a cell and replace the RNA in the cell. So let's take a look. What does virus break? There is a very important component in the cell membrane, or I should say, it is the structure of the cell membrane. It's phospholipid. And what makes it very special is its interesting molecular structure. The structure of the phospholipid molecule generally consists of two nonpolar fatty acid tails, which is hydrophobic, and a polar head consisting of a phosphate group, which is hydrophilic. The two components are usually joined together by a glycerol molecule. Therefore, phospholipid molecule is an amphipathic molecule. Phospholipids are able to form cell membranes because the phosphate group head is hydrophilic, which means water-loving, while the fatty acid tails are hydrophobic, which means water-hating. They automatically arrange themselves in a certain pattern in water because of these properties, and form cell membranes called phospholipids bilayer. To form cell membranes, phospholipids line up next to each other with their heads on the outside of the cell and their tails on the inside. A second layer of phospholipids also forms with heads facing the inside and tail facing away. In this way, a double layer is formed with phosphate group heads on the outside and fatty acid tails on the inside. This double layer forms the main part of the cell membrane. The nuclear envelope, a membrane surrounding a cell's nucleus, is also made up of phospholipids arranged in lipid bilayer. As it's the membrane of mitochondria, it's part of the cell that produces energy. Since phospholipids make the membrane, they are involved in the most biological processes. As membrane components, phospholipids are selectively permeable, also called semi-permeable, meaning that only certain molecules can pass through them to enter or exit the cell. New molecules that dissolve in fat can pass through easily, while molecules that dissolve in water cannot. This helps the condensation processes of cellular transport as well. In pharmaceuticals, phospholipids are used as part of drug delivery systems, which are systems that help transfer the drug throughout the body to the area that it is meant to affect. However, the viruses are not afraid of this structure. Special proteins in the virus body are released due to composition. They attach to the inner wall of the red blood cell plasma, and they tear the double layer of phospholipids apart. In the end, thanks for watching.